everyone, good evening. I'm Shreya Dhoundial. As always, it is very good to see you. If the trailer, ladies and gentlemen, is anything to go by, then the picture is going to be super explosive. The delimitation dangal has gone nuclear a day ahead of the special session in Parliament, which is being held tomorrow to pass the Women's Reservation Bill. This is a two-day session. Now, this is a bill that the government is calling a historic moment. It's a moment when the opposition is calling this a historic injustice. Now, it is the southern satraps, as you know, who are leading the charge against the government. They say they 100% support the Women's Reservation Bill, but will offer zero support for the delimitation bill that has been bundled with it by the government. The delimitation bill will increase the number of Lok Sabha seats from 543 to 824 and cap it at 850. Now, southern states led by Tamil Nadu are saying if the number of Lok Sabha seats a state gets will be in proportion to the state's population, then this is injustice to the south. Why? Because southern states have worked very hard since the 1950s and brought their population down, while northern states have been laggards. And while the south will be penalized for good work, the north, according to southern satraps, will benefit for its incompetence. More importantly, the southern satraps say this attempt to change India's political map is simply BJP's way of ensuring that it has electoral advantage. Listen in.
Delimitation பேர்ல தனது லிமிட்டை தாண்டி பாஜக அரசு தமிழ்நாடு உள்ளிட்ட தென் மாநிலங்களை வஞ்சிக்குது. டெல்லி பாஜகவுக்கு தமிழர்கள் யாருன்னு காட்ட வேண்டிய நேரம் வந்துருச்சு. நாளைக்கு நாடாளுமன்றத்தில் அவங்க கொண்டு வர போற சட்ட திருத்தத்துக்கு எதிர்ப்பை காட்டுற மாதிரி தமிழ்நாட்டில் எல்லாரும் நம்ம வீட்டில் கருப்பு கொடியை ஏத்துவோம்.
Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, as usual, he wants to do politics over nothing and everything. Yes, people of Tamil Nadu, especially the mothers and sisters of Tamil Nadu, they're very clear. They want the 33% reservation to be implemented as fast as possible. And the writing on the wall is very clear. The Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, he's only seeing defeat staring at him. So he has chosen to make politics out of it.
গণতন্ত্রে একটা ভোট দিয়ে এবার নেবেন বদলা। তার কারণ যদি না করেন আগামী দিন এই বাজেট এই মাসেই ডিলিমিটেশন বিল নিয়ে আসছে, টুকরো টুকরো করে দেবে আপনাদের, বাংলাকে ভাগ করে দেবে 1 নম্বর, 2 নম্বরের পরে এনআরসি করবে।
Is she suggesting that women have to wait and she will not cooperate? Is she trying to stop the reservation for women and putting fear in the mind of people in Bengal where there is no need for fear? You have fear about every law which is being passed, whereas you don't do anything here. What's your idea of governance? Mamata Banerjee, please say that.
दक्षिण भारत में एससीओं को, एसटीओं को, महिलाओं को अन्याय करने के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी नरेंद्र मोदी जी आज कोशिश कर रहे हैं. दक्षिण भारत को आप अन्याय नहीं कर सकते. सीट जब कम हो जाएंगे उनका हिस्सा भी कम हो जाएंगे. कम करने के लिए कोशिश कर रहे हैं. आपके मनमानी से सरकार चलाने के लिए, मनमानी से सीट बढ़ाने के लिए, मनमानी से रिजर्वेशन देने के लिए आप लोग कोशिश करें. देश के लिए अच्छा नहीं है.
We have not only supported women reservation bill in the past, we have passed resolutions in both Assembly and State Council when Sri KCR Garu was Chief Minister. We have always championed the cause, we've always supported it, there's no question. But the more important thing is, there is no need to link all three.
ये परिसीमन बड़ा खतरनाक है. गृह मंत्री ने कहा है, अनेक मंत्रियों ने कहा है कि लोकसभा 50% ज्यादा बढ़ाया जाएगा और उसके साथ साथ समानुपातिक तरीके से सभी राज्यों के सीटें बढ़ाई जाएंगी लोकसभा में. वो कहीं इस विधेयक में शामिल नहीं है. कई राज्यों का प्रपोर्शन घटेगा. दक्षिण भारत, उत्तर पश्चिमी भारत, पूर्वी भारत, छोटे छोटे राज्यों का रेशो घटेगा, प्रपोर्शन घटेगा.
They are moving two bills. Now they are linking women's reservations with politically contentious issues like delimitation, like the census process. And in any case, the delimitation bill which is being brought is nothing but a platform to gerrymander constituencies to suit the interests. Everything is in the hands of the central government. The Delimitation Commission and the census should be completely separated from women's reservation.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from all sides. Everyone has based their argument on the bills that were distributed, on this bill actually that was distributed yesterday to all lawmakers, where there was no mention of how the delimitation exercise will take place, what will be the formula, etc. Today, as the political pushback peaked, the government stepped out and said that the formula is very simple. In every state, the number of seats will increase by 50% flat so that it is fair to everyone. The government says it will not, which means the seat increase will not be in proportion to the state's population, which means, can we just put out those numbers, which means Uttar Pradesh, right now, how many seats are there? 80 Lok Sabha seats. 50% increase means they will go up to 120. Okay, from 80 to 120, proportional, 50%. In Tamil Nadu, there are 39 seats, 50% increase, which means they will go up to 59 seats. That is plain math. But question is, will the new numbers mean that the proportion of Lok Sabha seats for the southern states will actually come down? Ladies and gentlemen, we did some number crunching, and our calculation is saying that it is not going to be the case. The South will not be at a disadvantage. I'm just going to give you two examples here, because there are lots, but I will just give you two. The biggest northern Indian state, Uttar Pradesh, this is where the BJP is in power, gets a lot of its votes from here. There are 80% seats. 80% seats is 14.73% of the current Lok Sabha. The current Lok Sabha is 543 seats. 80 seats means 14.73%. Now, once the delimitation exercise happens, the seats are going to be up to 120. That is 14.56% of the 824 strong Lok Sabha. This is the proportion. The difference is minus 0.17%, which means UP's proportion after delimitation will actually go down very slightly, but it will go down. It will not increase. Now let's see Tamil Nadu. When seats go up from 39 to 59, the proportion will change. It will change from 7.18% to 7.16%, which means minus 0.02%. Essentially, there is no major advantage to Uttar Pradesh or northern states and no major disadvantage to Tamil Nadu or other states, other southern states and smaller states if this 50% formula promise is kept. So the question then, are the southern satraps fear-mongering, or has the government faulted in being vague about the delimitation exercise and not taking the opposition into confidence? Question also is, ladies and gentlemen, can the government pass the Nari Shakti bill without the opposition's help? All right, we are hearing from Rahul Gandhi, ladies and gentlemen. He's just put out a video statement. Rahul Gandhi attacking the centre, saying the Congress party 100% is supporting the women's reservation bill. They had unanimously passed it in 2023. What the government is proposing now has nothing to do with women's reservation. He says this amendment, he says, is an attempt to power grab using delimitation. We will not, he says, allow hissa chori from the OBC, Dalit and Adivasi communities by ignoring the caste census data. So that is what Rahul Gandhi is saying. Let's quickly listen in to what exactly is put out in this video bite.
ये है कि अगर जो मोदी जी चाहते हैं हो जाए, तो जो छोटे स्टेट्स हैं, साउथ के स्टेट्स हैं और नॉर्थ ईस्ट के स्टेट्स हैं, उनका रिप्रेजेंटेशन कम हो जाए, उनको भयंकर नुकसान होने वाला है और मैं इसको एंटी नेशनल एक्टिविटी मानता हूं। हमारा जो स्टैंड है वो बिल्कुल क्लियर है। अगर आपको करना है तो ओबीसी सेंसस का जो डेटा है उसके बेसिस पे कीजिए, 2026 के सेंसस के बेसिस पे कीजिए, 2011 के सेंसस के बेसिस पे मत कीजिए, क्योंकि उसमें ओबीसी का, पिछड़े वर्ग का कोई डेटा नहीं है। और अगर आप सचमुच में वुमेन्स बिल इंप्लीमेंट करना चाहते हो तो आपके पास वुमेन्स बिल पड़ा हुआ है, उसको आप इंप्लीमेंट कीजिए, हम आपको पूरा समर्थन देंगे। मगर पिछड़े वर्ग, सदर्न स्टेट्स, छोटे स्टेट्स के खिलाफ हम आपको काम नहीं करने देंगे। मोदी जी, मैं समझता हूं कि आप देश को मैसेज देना चाहते हो कि आप प्रो वुमेन हो। मैं जानता हूं कि आप एप्स्टीन फाइल से घबराए हुए हो। 35 लाख फाइलें यूएस में बंद पड़ी हैं, चाबी ट्रंप जी के हाथ में है और आप उससे डरे हो। मगर यह तरीका नहीं है। आप चाहते हो कि आपके मुताबिक सीटें बढ़े, आपके मुताबिक डिलिमिटेशन हो और पिछड़े वर्ग को कुछ ना मिले। हम ये नहीं होने देंगे।
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Rahul Gandhi speaking on the delimitation exercise which the opposition is opposing. My guest this evening, Shazia Ilmi, national spokesperson of the BJP. Hi, good evening, Shazia. Good to have you on the show. Shaina NC, spokesperson of the Shiva Sena. Shaina ji, good evening. Good to see you smiling here. Bhavya Narsimhamurthy, spokesperson of the Congress party. Hi, Bhavya. Good evening. And we have Dr. Saeed Hafiz, spokesperson of the DMK, who is joining us on the broadcast. Since Rahul Gandhi has just spoken, ladies and gentlemen, I do think we should go to the Congress spokesperson first. Bhavya, Rahul Gandhi has got his wish. He's saying don't base the delimitation exercise on the 2011 census. The government is saying we are not basing it on the 2011 census. We are not basing it on anything. We are simply putting out a flat 50% increase for every state so that no state is at a disadvantage. Ab bataiye, now where is the problem?
So the government of a country of 1.4 billion people cannot work on your whims and fancies of one person or one party, right? On what basis did you say 50% cap, 50% increase? Now, when a party forms government at the center, how do we calculate who gets the highest? The number of MP seats, right? Let's calculate. Let's take my own state as example, Karnataka. Right now we have 28 seats. Uttar Pradesh has 80 seats, right? At 50%. Now the gap between my state and Uttar Pradesh is 52 seats in MP, in parliament, 52 seats in Lok Sabha. Uttar Pradesh has got a higher hand.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if it increases to 120 and if my state adds 50%, that means my state will have 42.
42.
You know what the difference is? The difference will be 78 MP seats. 78 people will be more from Uttar Pradesh who will be deciding who forms the government there. You really think this is just for the southern Indian states?
Chalo, Bhavya.
Whatever exists already is injustice. But we have frozen that cap. And why? If you're really worried about women, if you really care for women, let it remain at 543, the current number. Just give the reservation. What's your problem?
We'll
Why
come
do you
to
want
that.
to use it for the
We'll come to
political
that
gain?
later. No, it's a fair point. We'll come to that later. But since you have spoken about Karnataka,
Now,
and
it
since
is
you have
injustice. Didn't I give you the numbers? Let's take Tamil Nadu example.
No. 1 minute, 1 minute. See, the numbers are how you interpret the numbers. Okay. You have spoken about Bhavya, let me speak and then I will let you counter it and then everyone else can come in. You have spoken about Uttar Pradesh and your state Karnataka. So Uttar Pradesh, 80 seats will go up to 120 in a house of 543. What is the proportion of seats that Uttar Pradesh has? 14.73%. Once the seats go up to 120 and then the Lok Sabha will be 824, what is the percentage of seats? What is the proportion of seats in that Lok Sabha? 120 in proportion to 824 is 14.56. Do you know what the difference is? Minus 0.17%. Minus 0.17%. Karnataka, suno. Karnataka, एक minute, suno. Everything, when if you're talking about math, this has to be in proportion.
Okay,
We have to take, we have to be fair, right, to everyone. Karnataka, 28 seats right now, right, in a house of 543, correct? That is 5.15% in the current Lok Sabha. Now, when the delimitation happens, your seats will go up to 42%, which means it will be 5.09% of the Lok Sabha, and the Lok Sabha then will be 824 seats. What is the difference? minus 0.06%. So the proportion is not being touched. Very minor proportional changes. If Uttar Pradesh is losing a bit, Karnataka is losing a bit. Andhra Pradesh will gain a little, Telangana will gain a little, but it's marginal.
But Shreya, why this 50%? Marginal or non-marginal, we don't care. Our seats, the proportion of our seats, you're talking about in percentage 0.62. Let's see in numbers. We count in numbers when the government comes to power. When you take a government, see, those states where the BJP is not strong, they are mostly affected by this formulas of
You don't get it.
One day this man wakes up. One day this man wakes up and
Bhavya,
completely takes a U-turn. 1 second. This man wakes up one day and takes a complete U-turn from what he said in 2023, which everyone accepted to. He just takes U-turn, brings his own whims and fancies to expect the whole country to accept it.
The timing is certainly questionable. But Shazia wants to come in. Let her respond.
Yeah, so
Let Shazia respond.
So, Bhavya, this is very basic. My math is not great, but I didn't do so badly in my 10th. Don't you get it? As it is, UP has got many more seats than your state, right? Why is that so? Population. Do you know what the Constitution says as to how the demarcation of boundaries is done, even in the first census and now the last census, which no, you have to be quiet and listen.
You will be encouraging.
I have to, because you're not making any sense and you're not cutting a very,
it will be injustice to states which control the population.
Bhavya, let Shazia complete her. Bhavya, let Shazia complete her point. I will give you a chance to speak.
Bhavya, I'm telling you, after this show, I'm sure people at home and in your own party will tell you that you're not making any sense. You think about it. You have a certain number of seats. Seats in every state are going up by 50%. So the proportion remains the same. The percentage of increase remains the same. So how does anything change? Now you're saying why increase the seats? Do you know the population of India? Do you know from the first census to now, what a huge... We're looking at 1.4 billion people. So every MP, now listen to me. Why do you have members of parliament? You'll have to listen. It'll help you, Bhavya. I speak as a sister and a friend. Just for your sake.
Bhavya, let her speak. We have a lot of time. We have another 20 minutes. If you want, we have another 40 minutes. No, we can't. We don't have 10 minutes. We have more than 10 minutes. Go ahead, Shazia.
No, Bhavya, Shreya, allow me to speak because she's, I feel bad for her, but she must allow me to speak. So, Bhavya, it's very basic math. Now, how many people, there's an increase in population. Now, what does an MP do? There is a member of parliament in every state, and now how is that decided? Sometimes there are 5 MLA constituencies, sometimes there are 6, and the numbers are going up. You are right, the southern states have done very good compliance when it comes to social welfare measures and population control measures, as opposed to north and the east. But which is why the north cannot benefit much more, which is why the east cannot benefit and the south cannot suffer, which is why the proportion of increase has to be 50%. And not just that, let me finish telling you something very important, Bhavya. The fact of the matter is an MP reflects the will of the people. So if an MP has first 10 lakh as constituents, now has 25 lakhs. What happens to governance? What happens to efficacy? What happens to people's representation? So for the sake of people, there should be more MPs per person, per population.
Bhavya, I will let you respond, but keep it short, because we have 2 more panelists who've been waiting patiently.
There are two things, Shazia. As both of us are women, right? Let's agree to one thing. If your leader really cared about women, he wouldn't even put this condition of delimitation. First, he wouldn't even put a condition of delimitation for the women reservation bill. As women, we both need to accept this. This is basic logic. All right? First point. Second point, if you're talking about
Shazia, let her please speak. Shazia, let her complete her point. Otherwise, the viewer will not understand anything.
Exactly. Can I?
Yeah.
Shazia, as women, we both need to agree that there was no need for the delimitation condition to bring in women's reservation bill. This was completely for a political game that Narendra Modi is bringing delimitation. There was no need for it. Second point. You were talking about demarcation of the constituencies based on constitution. Do you even know that it was froze at 543 for many years because they did not want to inflict injustice on those states which controlled its population and concentrated on development. But one more thing South India did was they worked really hard. Also, they kept BJP outside. That's why you people are doing this.
Okay. Listen, here's the point. Okay. We've heard from both of you. We have two more panelists. Please, bhai. We have two more panelists. Can we just go to them? Shaina NC, we've just heard from Rahul Gandhi, and he's saying, and it's not just him, the DMK is saying the same thing, that why number one, this confusion is happening and all this charcha is happening. Why? Because the government didn't tell anyone, including lawmakers who are supposed to debate the issue tomorrow, on how exactly this delimitation exercise is going to work. So let's not make it about the women's reservation bill, because every opposition party in this country supports the women's reservation bill. So don't villainize them ki are ye dekho women's reservation bill pe adanga laga rahe. The problem is also with the government. They were not clear what the formula is. It's only today, after all the fire has been lit, that they are saying no, it is going to be a 50% increase.
Shreya, firstly, let's agree that women should support women when it comes to Nari Shakti Bandhan. So that's my limited appeal to the Congress spokesperson. When it comes to Rahul Gandhi, I can understand that he does not even comprehend the fact that if you have 543 members of parliament today and you have a 50% increase, which works out to 816, it is well within the cap of 850, which is allowed. And likewise has been done for state assemblies too. For 1 minute, keep delimitation aside and census aside. I want to ask 2-3 questions. Do you know in 1950, we had only 22 members of parliament. Today, if we look at 2026, it fluctuates between 74 to 78 at max 82. It's a dismal 14 to 16%. We can keep on with the ifs, buts, why, when, question marks. And we can have a proactive role, which is to say 27 years have lapsed. Rather than making people wait for another till 2034, 2029, let this reservation come through so that the state assemblies, which are a dismal 9 and 10%, India has more representation of women in parliament, in assemblies, as well as Panchayat Raj. Now look at Panchayat Raj, where you have 14 lakh. 1 minute, this is a question for Bhavya. You have 14 lakh members who are women who have done so well. You know what the numbers are today? We have crossed 46%. In some panchayats, you have 50% women's representation. Have we given excuses of census and delimitation? That, as per 2011, will be a process.
Exactly. We never gave
Nobody is saying that process is not going to continue as per plan for future.
No. When the political, Shaina, see, when the political map of this country is being redrawn, the government of the day needs to take the opposition along, right? Have to take them in confidence, consult them, because after all, the decision doesn't just impact Uttar Pradesh or Delhi or Madhya Pradesh or just the BJP. It impacts everyone. It impacts people in the south as well. So the consultation process should have happened. It did not happen. Anyhow, Dr. Said Hafiz, spokesperson of the DMK, we've heard your chief minister. In fact, 1 minute. We've heard from your chief minister. Tomorrow he has called for a protest in Tamil Nadu. He's saying let the black flags be raised, etc. Today, in a short while from now, we'll start getting pictures from Salem, where he's holding a massive rally of women, some 30,000 of them, to make his point. But given the fact that now the formula is clear, given the fact that the government has now stepped out and clarified ki bhai 50% increase for all states, then should all this opposition by the opposition to delimitation be dropped?
Certainly not, because 1 year ago, when the whole issue of delimitation came up along with the women reservation bill, the entire country unanimously supported the women reservation bill. And when the point of the delimitation came up, we are suddenly becoming we are having an amnesia about the entire argument that the BJP kept. They said one vote, one value. Is that not real democracy? Now, it is the success of the opposition parties, the campaign of the opposition parties, which said that it is going to affect and punish the states which have performed well in controlling their population, that the 50% flat has come now. It is actually the success of the continuous campaign of the opposition party that this entire one vote, one value system is against the federalistic principle of this country. Now, still it is a punishment, madam, where states which did not do well in population control will also have 50% increase. You do well in population control, it's also going to be 50% increase. So, neither way you are rewarding the states which have done well in the process of administration, in the process of ensuring democracy. Still you are punishing the states which have done well in the population control.
Dr.
Now,
Hafiz, that argument would have held if the government had said that we are basing the delimitation exercise based on the population of a state, on the proportion of the population of the state. The government is not saying it. The government is not saying that we are basing the delimitation exercise on population. They are saying our formula is simple, irrespective of what the population of a state is. To be fair to everyone, we will give a uniform 50% increase to every state. So if Uttar Pradesh gets 50%, Tamil Nadu will get 50% as well. So there is a formula now in place. I'm saying if there is a new formula in place, your old argument doesn't hold.
Let me complete, madam. The entire argument of the BJP was what you have conducted shows 1 year back. Didn't they say one vote, one value? Have they not gone back on that? Is it not the success
But
of
it's
the
good
opposition?
only they have gone back, no?
No, I'll tell you. Second, yeah, they have gone back.
वैसे तो Congress also says जितनी आबादी उतना हक. Based on that formula, delimitation exercise should have happened on the population of every state, but that is not happening.
That is the hak of the deprived people who are not able to come up in this process.
One person, one
it cannot be compared. So let me finish, madam. It's my time. So that cannot be compared. You are comparing a statement of an apple and an orange, so you cannot equate it. Now, is it not the success of the opposition? Now the BJP spokesperson have gone back from their word of one vote, one value. It is the success of the opposition. It is the success of the southern states. It is the success of the states which have continuously...
Congratulations. Will you drop your opposition now? Will you drop your opposition now and vote for the delimitation bill?
Why?
I congratulate the opposition for its success. They have ensured that the government gives a formula that is fair. But then why call for a protest and say let the black flags be raised?
It's not fair.
It is not fair still.
Okay.
It is not fair still.
Why?
It is not fair still because you are giving a flat 50% increase. Now, where is the incentive for the states which have controlled the population? There is no incentive. Now, at one point, you said, no, we are not going on the basis of population, but still a flat increase is against the states which have done the good population control. Just like how you devolved the funds.
So are you telling me that this flat 50% formula, Bhavya, if you want to come in, you can, flat 50% formula should not apply? And that southern states should be...
My point is...
Should be given 60% because they have done well? Because if that happens, then Uttar Pradesh will have a problem, and Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh will have a problem, and Bihar will have a problem.
No, then how are you going to incentivize the population policy?
So not personal. I'm saying the whole opposition together will vote tomorrow in favor of women reservation bill if it applies to the current 543 seats. Why are you even linking delimitation with women reservation? Let's keep delimitation
Good
aside.
question. Let Shazia respond.
You put reservation on 543 and then you
let Shazia respond
separately.
Let Shazia respond.
We'll see to it later. Why delimitation and women reservation?
Chalo, let Shazia respond.
Do not link it. And misgivings. Please, 16th is a special session. All of that you want to raise on delimitation is the perfect time. Yes, it was linked to census and delimitation. Now it is not, because it's not available, and because it has to be made available, and women should avail of it by 2029 and not delayed further, which is why the new, the older census are 21. But now a delimitation by itself is necessary. And it's constitutional mandate, because we have to decide that.
No, constitution can be changed.
For the sake of governance.
Shazia, constitution can be changed. Constitution is amended all the time. It can be changed.
But you can't wish away delimitation. You can't say delimitation itself is a bad idea. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. Bhavya, you will agree that this country requires delimitation. 1 minute, Bhavya. The fact is, this is the basic simple fact that, you know, when was the last time we had a delimitation? And what is the number of people that one single MP represents, right? One single MP in this country represents 25 lakh people. It's mind-boggling.
True.
How can one person work for 25 lakh people? So delimitation has its merits. It's a necessity. Now the question is whether it should happen now, whether it should precede the women's reservation bill being passed or debated. All of that can be debated. But can you actually oppose the delimitation exercise on its own?
Very good point, Shreya. Very good point. So that is exactly why Madam Sonia Gandhi had written that op-ed where she actually said, call an all-party meeting. Let's discuss and come to terms on a completely agreeable formula. Okay. Not based on what you dreamt 2 days ago and came and you just, want to conduct this special session. No, it doesn't work on the whims and fancies of one individual. Do that. Let's come to terms. Let's decide what formula should apply.
Shaina.
So that none of the states,
Shaina, respond to that.
Yeah.
Respond to that.
Instead of
I want to say 2-3 things.
What was the problem in taking the opposition in the loop?
Please hear me out properly, because I was listening to all the various permutation combinations that they gave that by having to take in the opposition into consideration. What has the Congress party and Mrs. Sonia Gandhi done? Maybe we should just show this so you come to know that in 1996, when it first was moved in, it lapsed. 1998 to 2003 failed. 2010, you never had it even reach Lok Sabha because it was passed only in Rajya Sabha. 2023, when both houses signed into a law, in 2026, when it is being passed, which is a long overdue wait, that's when Sonia Gandhi ji wakes up and writes an article. I want to ask, are we for empowering women, or are we going to continue to see women as tokens and just give 5 seats, 10 seats, 15 seats, and keep on believing that ye to bechari hai, ye to lachar hai, aur chalo usko mil gaya itna. We want current representation, not just for ourselves, but for 50% of this country. Tomorrow, when my sister from Konkan, from a village, wants to stand for elections, or
I would urge
Shiroli, she should be given the same right as anybody else. And why not?
I would urge.
Keep on looking for these jaundiced eyes, Shreya. I want to just say, gone are the days of these question marks. If, why, but, when, where, how.
Here's the point. The BJP and its allies want to make this about the women's reservation bill, and the opposition is trying its best to say this is not about the delimitation. This is not about the women's reservation bill. This is about delimitation. So that is where the problem is. Now, Bhavya, I think you wanted to respond. You can go ahead and respond. But I will urge both the BJP and the Congress party and the DMK to go back and look at their own numbers and see how many tickets they give to women. Please see that.
I totally agree with you, Shreya. Everyone needs to reflect on it. I totally agree. Even my party needs to reflect on that. That's exactly why we need women reservation bill, so that they are forced to give tickets to women. And BJP has a chance now. They could have done it in 2024. They didn't do it. Let them do it in 2029. Why are you creating a contention among all of them for women reservation bill? Just pass it with 543 seats in the Lok Sabha. Later, let's discuss delimitation.
You're conflating the two
simple
issues.
as that.
You don't get it.
No, Shazia and Shaina, you both are.
Why don't you
I really feel sorry for you.
Why don't you want more representation of people to be the MPs so that
I agree. Shazia and Shaina, you both have been praised by your leadership.
In the opposition.
do their bidding
Yeah,
in the parliament.
What is this khichdi happening? There's so much khichdi happening here. I wonder what is going to happen in parliament in the next 2 days. Because there is a clear divide on what the opposition is talking about and what the government is projecting. But can I just, give the last word to the DMK spokesperson? Sir, again, the simple question I'm asking you, there is now a formula out. It wasn't out yesterday when, Mr. Stalin said that the Modi government is playing with fire, etc. The formula wasn't even out when he said, let there be black flags all across Tamil Nadu, and there's a black flag protest in Tamil Nadu tomorrow. Now a formula is out. Now the government is saying, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself, but I just feel you're basing all your arguments to the pre-formula era, as it were. Now there is a formula. The formula seems to be fairly just in my mind. All of you can disagree, of course. Now there's a new formula in place. You can question the timing. You can question 20 other things. But the formula seems to be fair. There is no injustice to the South here. Yes, why in the middle of elections in West Bengal and Tamil Nadu is something you can ask about, etc., etc. But the formula itself is fair, not unfair to the South or anyone.
Madam, this is a big U-turn on the part of the BJP, which was previously saying that one vote, one value. Now it has come to a flat 50%, which again is punishing the states which have done well in the population control.
But it is
the
not.
Same 50% is being the same.
But it is not.
No, the same. No, you're not understanding the logic. Just because you are increasing 50% for us, you are increasing 50% for the UP. Then where is the credit and where is the incentive for people who have strongly advocated and followed the policy that the union government wanted us to follow? And then the point of constitutional change, in fact, it was Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government which agreed to the policy.
Now this is a new thing you are saying. Now this is a new thing you are saying. In the interest of fairness, everyone should get 50%. You are saying because we are the toppers, we did so well in our population control, therefore, and all our all our metrics, human development metrics are much, much better than the North, which is true. We should get 60%.
Yes.
Now that is unfair.
No, madam.
That goes against
that goes against the Constitution.
There is no scientific form. One fine day you just come and say that it's flat 50% without discussion with the opposition parties, without anything. One fine day you come in and say it is 50%, and you don't even say it is 50% just a day before the parliament is convening. It all shows that the intent of the BJP is not really empowering women, but it is politics. It is politics of dividing this country. It is politics of disempowering and punishing the people who have performed well as per the wish and the directions of the union government.
And Bhavya, your leader, I'll let the others come in, but Bhavya, your leader, we've just heard from Rahul Gandhi. Can we just at least put out pictures of Rahul Gandhi here from the soundbite he has given? He's linking it to Epstein files. Now, everything is linked to Epstein files.
Because, Shreya, that has not been spoken about. Where the Prime Minister, his cabinet minister, who still hasn't resigned, has been mentioned there. I think we should speak about Epstein's file in every debate, no matter what the topic is. It is against humanity.
How can everything be linked to Epstein files? How can everything be linked to Epstein files?
Because a criminal, someone who can be a criminal, who, if the files are released, is sitting in cabinet there. A person who was linked to Epstein is sitting in cabinet there. That should actually boil the...
But what does it have to do with the women's reservation bill and delimitation?
It should be linked to women reservation. It should be linked to delimitation. It should be taken out. That particular issue should be taken out.
एक तो Epstein file में Prime Minister के बारे में कुछ है नहीं. But yet everything is linked to anyway. I think okay, let's get Shaina to respond to that. Then Shazia can come in. Shaina,
I mean, what are we comparing? We go on about Epstein files. I mean, this is the time when history is being made in this country of ours. When we talk about Nari Shakti Bandhan and we talk about a Viksit Bharat, should we not have a representation which is above 13 to 14%? Why not welcome this 33%? And as a woman of this country, please let's women support each other. I'm sure Bhavya will thank us in 2029 when she's given the opportunity to fight Lok Sabha elections from her state. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, of course, has not even got a concept note to understand what is the difference between delimitation, census, Nari Shakti Bandhan, and how the country has been toiling for so many years. We talk about women's security today. We talk about pregnancy. We talk about maternity leave. Look at the way the Prime Minister has even ensured that homes are given to women. Look at the kind of contribution in a Jan Dhan Yojana or a Mudra banking. I mean, the list is endless, or even an Ujjwala. So I think the sky is the limit. Women rock here on, so celebrate it, every woman across the country.
Shazia, please go ahead, respond to, Rahul Gandhi's statement. I didn't want to, talk about it initially, but I do want a response from you now.
No, I didn't want to get there because, it's such an important time for us to be discussing something so important. I think women of this country deserve a special session only dedicated to them and for their 33% reservation in the parliament and all the Vidhan Sabhas and all the state legislatures. But Rahul Gandhi, by going away and talking about Epstein, just shows, just how ugly and petty he makes everything and how unbecoming it is to bring that in, knowing very well the Prime Minister has nothing to do with it, that even the particular minister is not part of the Epstein files is different from Epstein mails. And that has nothing to do with that monster. I call him a monster. But it's like hitting below the belt, and it's very unbecoming.
I have one quick question. 1 minute. I know, Bhavya, you want to respond, but I have a quick question for both you and the DMK spokesperson. Please take only 10 seconds to answer because my producer is getting very upset. On Friday, will the Congress party vote for the women's reservation bill or not? And DMK can answer that question as well.
If there is a proper discussion,
there is
the changes, proper changes made according to everyone, where every state gets its say and every party gets its say, and you agree on a formula, then yes.
Formula no. Everyone has agreed to the 50% formula. DMK.
They have not agreed. We have not agreed.
You are not okay with 50% formula for everyone?
Of course we are not.
Achha.
Madam. Madam, this is like Durandar Part 1, Durandar Part 2, Durandar Part 3, Women Reservation Part 1, Women Reservation Part 2, Women Reservation Part 3. It will keep coming, and every time we have proved that we are with women, we want to empower women. If you mix that with something else, we are not for it. We will stand for women upliftment, women reservation. We did that in the past. It is the politics of the BJP, like releasing part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. Let them continue with it.
Okay,
to support the women
Time over, Dhurandars. All 4 of you are Dhurandars for me. But we are talking about Saath's voice being suppressed. We've heard from Kerala's Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, where he's calling it historic injustice, undemocratic, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know how many women MPs are there in our Lok Sabha from Kerala? Kitna, Bhavya? How many?
I'm not very sure. How many?
0 anda.
I don't know the number.
0 anda. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Every party needs to introspect. Thank you all for joining us on this very lively debate. Tomorrow promises to be exciting as well. On that note, a quick break. There's more news on the other side. Do stay with us.